Well, no prizes for guessing that this is a review of a pen called the Supernova. And we know that Leonardo Oficina Italiana have been making some very posh pens called Supernova, piston fillers, custom resin from Jonathan Brooks et al. For a while, but they've now brought out a series of regular Supernova, again featuring fairly spectacular resins from the said Jonathan Brooks, but actually a regular ordinary pen. So let's just have a look and see how ordinary it is. Right, well, it comes in a box very similar to the other boxes, but it does have Supernova written on it, and on the back we have a picture of Mr. Matrone Senior, the paterfamilias of this pen brand, and he's been working in pens for years and had a history working with Delta pens. And like Delta pens, Leonardo pens are made in Sicily or nearby. Right, so here we go. Normal sort of presentation other than that. Nice little booklet. Should we have a look at that? We might as well have a look at that. There we go, so guarantee and so forth. Various pictures, they use micrometers. They design the pens. Wonderful. Okay, very interesting. It is very interesting, actually. Here's the pen. I've got to say, looking at this now, I would say it's slightly lighter blue. And the green's not exactly, yeah, the green's there or thereabouts. Colours are very hard to do, I find. There we go. Anyway, so this is the pen. And I suppose the first thing we notice is that it's fairly chunky. It's got the classic Leonardo roller, so you won't rip your shirt as you pop it into your shirt pocket. It's a good idea. Just a resin face on the top of the cap and a metal stopper at the end of the barrel. Interesting. We've also got 3 bands, one of them very broad with a nice Greek type design on it, and a band at the bottom. There we go. So that's the outside of the pen. Inside we find, well, it's a nice no-nonsense design actually. I like this. I like this. The section is tapered, but is there the tiniest hint of fluting at the end there? I think there might be actually. I originally thought it was absolutely straight, but there's possibly a tiny little bit there. It certainly feels like it actually, and it is a nice pen in the hand. There we go. Yeah, I think that's a very pleasing look actually. I like that. I like that. Okay, it is, as most of the basic pens are with Leonardo, a cartridge converter. And it's got a sort of ordinary converter in it. With some of the earlier pens, and I'm not sure it's not still the case with the Memento Zero, you could unscrew the blind cap here and fiddle about with the converter and pretend that you had a piston filler, which was quite nice. Now, you can see that there are screw threads for attaching the cap there, but really I can't see them causing any problem at all. This actually is quite sharp, so where the barrel starts, but actually it's quite a long way from where your fingers are likely to be, and even holding like that, I don't think it would cause me any problems, but don't take my word for it. There we go. So there we are. Put that back together again. Now, I'm sure the question that you're all answering, and that I think asking, and that needs to be answered, is how does the size compare with the Memento Zero, which is one of the other pen designs they have. And here is a Memento Zero. Let's just pop that in. I've chosen the green blue, a very nice resin. And as you can see, well, even if we put it here, actually, it is a smaller pen. So if you check out the dimensions, you'll see that the new Supernova is actually slightly longer, not a huge amount in it. Definitely in terms of girth, the Supernova is bigger. It is a considerably chunkier pen. So let's take the cap out and see if we can compare the sections. Well, the first thing that jumps out at you is that the fluting on the Memento Zero is quite clear, whereas on the Supernova, yes, very slight, but definitely there. I mean, there's a real shape here to the Memento Zero, but not nearly so obvious here. The length of the section is similar, but again, the section is significantly broader on the Supernova. I mean, in terms of centimetres and so forth, millimetres, it's probably next to nothing. But I think, as we all know, in the hand, small differences in size can make an enormous difference to the feel of the pen. And equally, the weight of the pen, I mean, I believe it's 3 or 4 grams heavier than the Memento Zero. And that actually is a significant amount with a fountain pen. So, a bigger pen. So if you like a chunky pen, then this is it. The other thing, of course, is the resin, and I'd be willing to bet that there's quite a lot of variation between these resins for the Supernovas. Certainly the other Brooks pens, there's huge variations between two pens with the same resin, but actually the mix of colours and so forth can be very significantly different. As always, we've done this already. It's an ordinary converter. There's a metal connector between the barrel and the section. Screw-in nibs, still Jovo nibs, although this is the Fenice nib, I think. Yes, it is, yeah. Fenice is, as we all know, Italian for phoenix, so you can see it rising from the flames there. I was fortunate enough to be in Venice recently, and their opera house is called the Fenice. Very well worth a visit if you ever go. However, we're talking about pens now. Now the nib is actually a straightforward Jovo nib. It's a different design, but I don't think there's any difference. I believe they're totally interchangeable. So nothing too exciting there. I'll get this interloper out of the way because we're not really talking about you, mate. We're talking about the Supernova. And I've got to say, I think the Supernova is a worthy addition and actually does give you something significantly different from the standard Memento Zero and standard size Leonardo pens. A chunky, heavy, pleasant, solid, reliable looking pen. Yeah, there we go. The new Supernova. Other colours are available, and probably more colours will become available, but a nice design. It's John Hall from Right Here Pens. Thank you for listening and watching.